Apart from Assassin's Creed, Far Cry is Ubisoft's most important and influential franchise. The renowned game has set the benchmark for excellent open-world shooters, from its basic, monster-mutilating origins in 2004 to the exhilarating extravagance of this year's Far Cry 6. But which Far Cry game will be named the best Far Cry game? These are our top 10 best Far Cry games of all time, whether it's the cheeky 80s lunacy of Blood Dragon or the technically astounding sandbox carnage of 2018's Hope County FPS. 5. Far Cry 4. Far Cry's commitment to insane villains was confirmed in this game. Following on from the events of Far Cry 3, this Himalayan-set sequel focuses on Troy Baker's extremely campy, gloriously inflated ruler, Pagan Min. Far Cry 3's outpost liberating, animal-slaughtering action is expanded upon in this cold sequel, which sees the serene and composed AJ Gullet piloting gyrocopters over spectacular mountain ranges, shooting snow leopards in the face, and riding Dumbo's cousin into awesomely chaotic shootouts. Pet elephants, it turns out, can trample dozens of adversaries in a particularly squelchy manner. Is Far Cry 4's fictional Himalayan province of Kirit as memorable as its predecessor's sun-drenched Rook Islands? That's not even close. Nonetheless, this sequel solidifies the foundations of a modern FPS masterwork. 4. Far Cry 2. The one with all the fire, sure. Far Cry 2 has a cult following unlike any other game in the franchise after more than a decade. This brutally gritty sequel is a shooter that loves to make you suffer, far from the Dr. Moreau monster-slaying action of the previous game. To avoid a game-ending blackout, contract malaria and take medications every 15 minutes. Only to have your decrepit Jeep's motor fail after you've gunned down half a dozen tooled-up guerrillas in one of dozens of heavily fortified roadside checkpoints. Enter a combat with a trusted sidekick. Then revive them every 17 seconds because they're getting shot in the spleen all the time. In Far Cry 2, the game lets you crawl through a river of ST for every tiny win. However, all of this dedication to severe realism makes this African open world extremely gratifying. When every triumph requires a constant balancing act of pill popping, engine fixing, and gun repairing quick reactions, the final successes are incredibly fulfilling. Also, the fire effects are incredible. Want to use a flamethrower to burn down an entire virtual Surgentai? Have fun with it. Just don't flame grill all those beautiful zebras. 3. Far Cry Primal. Far Cry's fascination with animal sidekicks has reached its pinnacle. This caveman diversion is still the most adventurous of the mainline entries in the series. Far Cry Primal immerses players in the furious toga of a surprisingly communicative Neanderthal, channeling the prehistoric spirit that the original Far Cry meant to tap into. Turns out, the 2004 Crytek shooter was originally supposed to feature dinosaurs, not slightly disappointing mutant slaughter. You won't get shotguns or AK-47s from Primal, but who needs automatic weaponry when you can order a chorus line of ancient feral monsters to slaughter your opponents at the drop of a prehistoric hat? Tame wolves, bears, leopards, and even saber-toothed tigers, then unleash them on your cavemen adversaries like furry, heat-seeking missiles. While Primal's bows and clubs are fun to use, no other game in the series nails animal attacks like this striking precursor. 2. Far Cry 5. Fear will hold you prisoner, to paraphrase a sentence from The Shawshank Redemption. I'm hoping would free you. Now that we've ruined an all-time great movie tagline in the name of a flimsy pun, it's time to show some love for Far Cry 5's Midwestern US state. Far Cry's maiden journey to the United States of America yields a stunning, deliciously freeform playground that ranks among the best open-world shooters of the Xbox One PS4 generation. As a mute sheriff's deputy, it's your mission to put an end to an out-of-control cult, which usually entails blowing up silos, shooting topless cultists in the face, and occasionally harvesting bison testes. For obvious reasons. Far Cry 5 is a fantastic game, because to Ubisoft's Dubai engine, which allows for smooth shooting and frenetic animal slaughter. Is it really a Far Cry game if a bear/mountain lion/other fanged beastie isn't charging you down every 32 seconds? My game is quite close to taking the top slot on this list, with clever, well-paced objectives and a magnificent slice of fictional North American real estate to create havoc in. If it weren't for a particular threequel, that is. 1. Far Cry 3. Were you expecting anything different? One of the best first-person shooters of all time is Jason Brody's sun-kissed sandbox. It's also one of the most pleasant open-world games ever created. Far Cry 3 is arguably Ubisoft's most significant game, with a reach that extends far beyond the shooter genre. The innovations introduced by the Rook Island shooter have benefited everything from The Crew to Assassin's Creed. Scaling a tall structure reveals critical map locations. Taking down enemy outposts with a mix of stealth and brutal killing. I'm scavenging for critters to upgrade my gear. Far Cry 3 should be compared to Grand Theft Auto 3 in terms of genre-defining gameplay, whether it comes from Red Dead Redemption 2 or Horizon Zero Dawn. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more such videos.